It is Friday, the 19th of February, 2021, and this is your friend Angus Buchan with a thought for the day. If we go to the book of Acts chapter 17 and verse 6, these who have turned the world upside down have come here too. Isn't that beautiful? I'll read that again. It's so beautiful. These who have turned the world upside down have come here too. That is, in essence, what revival is. I looked up the Oxford Dictionary to get the exact definition. It means to restore, to regain life. It means consciousness or strength. It means a reawakening of religious fervor. Now, John Wesley said the definition of revival is a people saturated with God. These people have also been called troublemakers. For Jesus' sake. Remember King Ahab, that's what he called Elijah, the Tishbite, that great prophet from Israel. Oh, troubler of Israel, what do you want with us? Folks, it's time for revival. It's time to get back to God. It's time to encourage one another. Now remember, you can't revive an unbeliever. An unbeliever needs to be saved first. A revival comes through the church. It comes through Christians who have grown weary, who have grown tired, who have become despondent. Do you remember? I know I'm talking to tens of thousands of men who have been to the Mighty Men conferences all over the world. I remember like yesterday the story I heard when we had the big tent on the farm, the biggest tent in the world, built in Britain and enlarged in Europe, brought out to South Africa for the World Heritage Conference, and we brought it down to the farm. I think it was 17 Pantechnicons, do you remember? And they took 3 weeks to put it up. It was an incredible sight to behold. We had 30,000 men inside that tent and 30,000 men outside that tent. We fed them for a full weekend. I remember distinctly the boys slaughtering 40 oxen for one meal. That was amazing. But you know, when God moves, no one can dispute it. You know, the Muslims in Greytown were telling me years afterwards, when are you going to have another Christian meeting? They were enjoying the business. The boys bought everything that was in every shop in Greytown. It was amazing. I just want to tell you one little story of what actually took place. There was a little boy. He was there with his dad. This boy was about 12 years old. And his dad and his granddad were not talking to each other. They were both at the meeting, but they weren't sitting together. They hadn't driven down together. He said to Dad, Dad, if I can find Granddad, will you speak to him? And of course he said yes, because he knew that he wouldn't find him. They had a 5-minute break and 60,000 men milling around, and off this little boy went. He went straight up to the reservoir, and there was his granddad. Can you believe it? Talking to his friends. He said, Opa, Granddad. He said, Dad wants to speak to you. And Granddad came down, and they looked at each other. They couldn't believe it in that crowd. They embraced. They started weeping in each other's arms. And the little boy held his granddad and his dad together. That is revival. Let's do it again. God bless you and goodbye.